Bd28 Parrot Story and Guidance. The Magical Council 28 out of 32. Parrot, the guiding force of repetition. The guiding force of repetition. Using the ability to repeat for the right reasons and purpose. Quote, "The chains of habit are too weak to be felt until they are too strong to be broken." Samuel Johnson. End of quote. Parrot's story. After Kalimabanco had taken its place as the governor of Crystalia, it was me, a drop of the ocean of love, the home of Kandu, that came to venture Crystalia. As a crystal child of light, I settled down in Orania, in the lower crystal kingdom, and Kalimabanco observed me with care, for he knew he needed a team that would help him to keep life in Crystalia going. As a young child, playing in the gardens of the castles of garments located in the plains of dreams, Kalimabanco gave me the name Parrot, meaning the power of repetition. At a young age, I discovered that I had the power to assist myself with the repeating and training of practical skills. It was a time in the history of Crystalia that we are all living in the plains of dreams were slowly becoming more dense physical bodies, like you all have on the planet. Having a physical body brings lots of obligations in order to take care of that body, which needs to be cleaned, fed, and moved so it stays functioning in a vital way. I had that power within me to repeat until I was able to wash my body, feed it, and move it in different ways. So I assisted others as well in these trainings, and they too discovered that power of repetition inside themselves. As our life became more complex, we needed more and more training in practical skills, such as dressing ourselves up, reading, writing, and of course working skills that needed to be trained. I started making time schedules when it was necessary to start repeating and mastering certain skills. And these schedules are still functioning in your world up till this day. When the modern world came, many individuals stopped obeying the schedule, and many times children got pushed too early to attain certain skills that were connected to their future profession. I know you do this as well on your planet. Children are too early taken out of their child stage of life, in which they need to play and adventure, but always somebody comes up with some justification or another. Anyway, getting back to me. I also discovered that once accepted this power, it would automatically be used for the repetition of things other than practical skills, things that would enrich but also destroy life. I started to repeat questionable habits, and it happened so fast that I had no grip on this power, and it happened for anybody else as well. This ranged from repeating certain thoughts and desires to words, tastes, actions, and reactions, and I felt losing sometimes, but I didn't know what it was anymore, because I was so into this repeating. In my realm, this was the power to really control others by making them into robots. I figured out when you get others to keep on repeating certain things that you want, like trying to sell them certain foods, getting them to believe something or in somebody, all this is easy done through advertisements or indoctrinating others through fear, instilling and manipulating repetitions, and you become the controller. Just for you to know, everything you do, say, think of, or believe in is part of this programming, making you into a robot. But then you say, I have free will and choice. But again, these choices you make are based on all what is already conditioned and repeated inside you. The sum total of all these repetitions and conditionings make you who you are today, and they are called your dominant tapes. And to change these, I can tell you that it will not be easy. also know that when you succeed in changing one tape, that it will be replaced by another. When you think that you have conquered a habit, know that that dominant habit only gets replaced by something else you kept on repeating, and that this program of habit is merely pushed in the background, or in other words, taken to a dormant state. Be on guard, because any dormant program can surface at any time, at any place. In order to become the master of all these programs and basically the mind, you need to go above and beyond the mind, and which is as well done through repetition. And when you ask me what kind of repetition, I can only answer you that you have to find a master teacher who has accomplished this task and who would want to take you as a student or a disciple. The higher realms of the gods. Kali Mobanku saw my potential at an early age, and under his guidance trained me in every aspect and offered me a place in the higher realms of the gods. And I made myself into the god of repetition. I was great for his plan, as I would keep everybody busy in the world with the repetition and conditionings of thoughts and communication skills and habits, and then trying to get rid of bad and unhealthy habits, and not thinking about Kandu and their real self, and not making any effort to get out of the realm of body, mind, and matter. Throughout the history of the higher realms of the gods, however, there had been many wars and battles, and I played unfortunately my part in it. I thought I was the strongest of all, and I showed off my powers, and making everybody work like dogs to learn skills they could use in battle against each other. I gave one god an idea and another other ideas of making war. And after winning or losing wars, I was consulted to give them better and stronger skills, because each of the gods had their own armies, and my army was unfortunately trained the best way, because I used all my knowledge first for my own benefit. It was through my power of repetition, by being able to repeat in our mind that we were the strongest gods of all, that all of us thought this way. The armies we created, each for ourselves, was all done through the manipulation of conditioning of our inhabitants. Each of us, and all against each other, made our inhabitants from the time they were children believe through stories and other forms of media that the other gods were evil and out to capture and kill, and that it was each citizen's duty to fight and to defend. This easy technique has been repeated throughout the entire history, and also on the planet Earth, and is used still by many leaders, politicians, and especially those in power in the name of God and religion. Touring my realm. At one point in time in the history of Crystalia, with the permission of Kali Mobanku, I made my second home in a realm in which I could experience my energy in full. Here I had my playground without having to battle with the other keepers, but where other problems arose. I went to the plains of dreams, to one of the castles of garments, and took the body I still have today, representing my purpose. In my realm live various tribes and under different conditions. My entire realm is a vast jungle with trees and plants twice as big as on your planet. Spread out there are several clearings with huge plateaus built on stilts, and on top very space-like villages and cities. And we have two kinds of inhabitants. There are all the elder men and women, dressed in beautiful long robes and elegantly moving about, and the other kind is robot-like, with helmets shaped into the head of a parrot, walking and moving like robots. The elderly folk are the wise men and women of my realm, conveying their wisdom as teachers, facilitators, practitioners, and guides. And the robot kind are the keepers of tradition, and are the working tribe, but many of them have also taken now other positions in the community after having been through a transition by breaking their habits and conditionings. However, just like everywhere else in the universe, there is a friction, arguments, and there are power games. The big change. Having two main residences in the higher realms of the physical gods and in my realm, my private realm, I was asked at one point in time by Mariah Morrow to become a faculty member at the Magical University of Life at the Sacred Archives. Mariah Morrow, being the principal, who respected anybody and who was wise, invited us all, the key masters, the keepers and guardians of the universe. And we, as the keepers of conduct, received the name Divanas. Under his guidance, we all had an equal position and shared the knowledge of universe and nature from our perspective with the students, and we all felt important. It was a great change. We turned back into love and stopped our wars, for we all knew that you needed all the help you can get in order to save your planet and yourself. For those amongst you who want to become more aware and who understand that I am part and parcel of you and within everything and everybody, I invite you coming on a journey and rediscovering all about me in my realm, or sit in my classroom at the university, learn about the basics of life, or even connect with me through a homeschooling program. All connections to me are an incredible experience, and the more you know, the better you can help yourself going through your life adventure. How I can help you in your life. Quote, "We learn to do something by doing it. There is no other way." John Holt. End of quote. Everything you think, say and do, the way you dress, act and react, and all your worldly skills are trained and conditioned through the capacity of repetition. I am Parrot, in charge of the guiding force of repetition. I will guide you to learn practical things in this world through repetition, but also reminding you that every conditioning, good or bad, in your eyes, is created through repetition. So you either learn to repeat positive actions in every aspect of your life, or negative ones, or even using the capacity to condition destructive patterns. Everything you experience, think of, see, taste, hear, touch, and smell more than once, which can be the repetition of 2 times, has the potential already to become a dominant tape or program in your life that can work in your favor or against you. Some things, like an accident or other strong confrontations, doesn't have to happen twice, because the first time it can already become a dominant program that you cannot get rid of, and maybe have to struggle with for the rest of your life, and which is not easy. But only with time and maturing you can get that program back in the background. Basic self-care skills. Remember how you learned to tie your shoes and dress yourself up, by doing it over and over again until you knew how to do it. It is great to learn things like taking care of yourself and the things around you. The doing things over and over again is called repetition, and is the way to learn things. But know that you can repeat good and lesser good things. Study. Everything at school is also connected to me, where you have to repeat endless things, and that was the way you learned to write, to read, to count, and about any subject as well. You can learn through repetition the skill of sports and arts and crafts, and later you can learn things for your profession so you can make your own money. Words and behavior. By repeating bad words, you will train yourself in speaking bad words. By repeating good behavior, people around you will repeat to you, saying that you are a good kid. When you repeat bad behavior, people around you will repeat and remind you that this is not the right way and you probably get in trouble. Tastes and food. Your mouth is the best trained organ from the moment you were born, as your mouth looked for nurturing and comfort. It is a very dangerous organ to work with, because inside is your palate. And the big money makers in the industry who don't care about your health will do everything possible to get you addicted to their bad sugar and salt and cheap foods. They will have the most advertisements to constantly remind you to consume their products, and will have every trick to get you to their restaurants or to buy their products. These foods and products have very little life value to your health and your body will feel malnourished, and as a result, you keep on eating and repeating the bad stuff. Know, however, when you repeat to eat unhealthy foods, you most likely are confronted with not feeling well, but the big money makers have another solution for you to addict you to their medicine. Modern addictions. There are many addictions, meaning habits, that are very strong and who are stronger than you, like the taste for certain things and especially unhealthy foods and drinks. But also know that sitting long in front of the TV, watching movies, playing games and hanging on the phone is also the training through the capacity of repetition. Be on guard to not become another robot, like many others around you who have already joined the army of robots. Is this what you want to become? Everybody wants the same, does the same, eats the same, and even wants to look the same. Belief systems. Know that everything you believe today is a result of all that you have been exposed to, and that you have to question what you believe, and realizing that believing is still not knowing. You must prove things to yourself, and you must find your own beliefs that you are convinced of, otherwise you're just a parrot. Positive tapes and negative tapes. The sum total of all your positive and negative tapes and conditionings make you the person you are today, with those tastes, the way you dressed, what and how you say things, what attracts you and not, with whom you're hanging out, and go on. A positive you will result in a healthy and great person, and a negative you will just give you trouble. For that reason, establish a more positive repetition regarding all aspects of life. Dominant and dormant. Repeating is a way of creating a computer program, and the more you are busy with something and keep on repeating it, the stronger the program. So the power of repeating can be a very helpful tool in your life, but you also can repeat many things that become very strong programs that are not good for yourself, others and the world. As I said before, you have to be very careful with repeating unhealthy and bad behavior, as these programs will not bring you a pleasant life adventure. So you repeat and repeat and have many programs where you can work with in your life, but know that the programs you have repeated over and over again are going to be the programs you will have to be working with. They are called dominant programs. And the ones that you do not work with from minute to minute and mostly related to your past are programs in the background called dormant. When you have programs that bring you in trouble and programs you don't like, know that you cannot get rid of them anymore, but you can get them in the background by repeating more and more different and positive ones, who then become more present in your life. In order to change negative, unhealthy, boring conditionings, you need to condition something new. Time and maturing. Many programs that are really troubling you may need a long time to fade, and others need your maturity, or a different point of reference, or different opinion, which you can receive by attaining a different awareness and consciousness, affecting your way of thinking. Repetition. Most things you repeat you do not need, so just repeat those things that you really need.